Wait, so you knew this?
Yeah.
Hello, but you missed the whole thing. This is what I'm
Sorry.
saying. This is so important. This is the majority of the reading. First of all, there's a couple different souls that are stepping forward. And right away, I keep hearing I'm the father. So your dad departed?
Yes.
So know that he's stepping forward right away. Because first of all, your father cannot believe that he can be here right now in this way. And first of all, he's going to me, Matt, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. And I'm starting to ask him questions on the other side. Right away, your father goes like this to me. He goes, Matt, he goes, I really wasn't a good communicator here in this world, Matt. He says, I didn't really know how to speak or what to say. He goes, can you just tell my daughters hi? And I go, no, you can't tell them hi. I'm like, you gotta actually say something with the message. So first of all,
Oh my gosh.
I gotta tell you something. That was his personality though. You understand that, right?
Yes.
I'm asking, what happens is what you guys can't see is that I'm actually asking the other side questions in my head, like how'd you die? What's your name? Who are you with? All these different things. And what happens is they choose on what they'll speak and what they'll say. And with your father, it's like pulling teeth. He's giving me one word answers instead of coming through full sentences. But yet he wants to be here. That's just how he was.
Yes.
And your
Yes.
father's going like this. He goes, Matt, just tell them this. That's how I was here in this world. He goes, I used to sit in my chair, he says, and I used to watch all the goings-ons with everybody all around.
Yep.
He goes, and I just got enjoyment, Matt, by watching other people, he says. He says, the one thing that I have to let my daughters know, he says, is that I wish that I was more outspoken here in this world. And I wish that I would have gotten to tell them more how much I loved and cared about them before my passing. He says, because Matt, I didn't want to keep secrets here in this world. He says, but that's what I did. He says, I kept everything on the inside, he tells me. And especially with his illness, because your dad shows me that he was sick for a while and he never talked about what was going on with him and what was happening. It was like a big secret that he was even sick. And then he showed me visions, and I'm asking him, well, what happened? And your father said to me, well, I was a silent sufferer, he says, Matt. He goes, there was issues with his throat, he's telling me. I keep hearing him trying to clear his throat when I'm connecting, like, do you remember him?
Well, he always did that.
He's doing that on the other side. And I think that was connected to his illness because I'm also seeing your father with cough drops when I'm connecting with him. He shows me he always used to have the cough drops. And I got to tell you something. That's when your dad's illness had started. He says to me when I'm connecting with him that he was sick for quite some time. And I feel like he was having issues with breathing because he's showing me that he used to have this little dish on the side of him. It was filled with like cough drops. And I see him all throughout the day taking them and putting these cough drops in. I don't know if they were cough drops or lemon candy. They'd be the same thing to me. They're rolled up. So know that it's his way of acknowledging, Matt. He goes, I didn't want anyone to know what was actually going on with me and how sick I was. And then he says to me that by the time that you found out that your dad was ill, he talks about it being too late. Like there was nothing that could have been done for him.
He had a massive heart attack.
He also says to me there were other things that were going on. I feel like when I'm connecting with him, that he was at the start of either congestional heart failure or he had congestional heart failure.
Yes, he did.
Because, oh, you know this.
Yes.
Because you're telling me it was a heart attack. Your father, this is what I'm saying. I always listen to the dead. Because your father said to me, it was not a heart attack. I had this. Well, he worked at General Motors, and guys that he worked with, when they'd come out of the plant, they'd go get his car because he couldn't breathe to walk to the car. Nobody told us. Wait, so you knew this?
Yeah.
Hello, but this is what I'm saying to you. I was telling you, your dad with the cough drops, he couldn't breathe. You were saying to me you didn't know what I was talking about.
He always had cough drops. He always had
Hello, you missed the whole thing. This is what I'm talking about. This is so important. This is the majority of the reading. Because your dad shows me he was sick with this for like 10 years. So when I'm connected with him, he shows me that the last 10 years of his life is when that cough developed. And your father shows me that it would keep him up in the middle of the night. That it started off as a slow cough, and then all of a sudden I see him being up. He shows me taking those cough drops. I see that he would have a hard time even laying down. That a lot of times he fell asleep in his chair, or he would sleep in his chair. He showed
Yes. Yes.
That's because he couldn't breathe.
Oh my God.
So to you, you feel like your dad just died like this when your dad's trying to solve the mystery and tell you, no, I was sick. He just kept this hidden. He kept this on the inside.
Yeah, he didn't go to doctors either.
I'm going to tell you something. Your father showed me when I'm connecting with him that there were times when he would cough up, okay? And he would cough up fluid, and I saw pink and fluid. So when I see that, that shows me that he was coughing up a little bit of blood. And your father said to me, this is how I knew, Matt. This is how I knew. So he's saying that he wants to apologize to the two of you and to the family because he says to me, Matt, I don't want them to feel upset about what they saw here in this world. He tells me that you had to go through so much watching how your dad had died.
Yes.
He says to me, and you felt so helpless as you feel like he died like this, when really your dad says to me, this was a slow and lingering thing. So he's stepping forward because he needs to let you two know one thing. He says to me, Matt, please tell my girls that I loved them unconditionally. He says, but I would have never wanted them to stop their life to take care of me. He says, that was my biggest fear, he tells me. He says, and the one thing that he wants to let the two of you know is that you lived up to every expectation that he had of you. He also tells me there was a child that passed, unfortunately, as well.
My sister's son.
So please know that that soul is with him. That's your other sister?
Yes.
Because he tells me about the little boy being with him, and it's his way of letting you know from the other side that that soul is with him in spirit. Because anytime that we lose a child, please know that those souls go back with our loved ones, and your dad is bringing that through. He says, Matt, he says, I may not have said everything here in this world. He says, but I want you to know that on the other side, I am so, so proud of them. He says, and I'm the one who's watching over them every single day, he tells me. He says, so know that every day that goes by, I'm here. You also was whispering in my ear, say Bob.
My husband.
And is he still here in the physical?
Yes.
Okay, because he's saying that he's watching over him when I'm connecting. He says to me, I'm watching over Bob. I'm watching over Bob. So I don't know if he had to go in for a recent surgery, if there was something that's going on with him, but please know that your dad's here and watching over him because he's whispering that name. Isn't that crazy?
That is insane.
But
that is insane.
I don't want to get in trouble here, but I got to tell you everything your father's telling me. Please don't get mad at me. It doesn't come from me. Promise me you won't get mad at me?
No.
Your father's telling me that you need to lighten up on your husband.
Me?
You! Yes, you!
Oh. My husband and him were very close. Yeah, they got along so well.
Well, listen, your father's still vouching for him on the other side. That's so funny. This is what I'm talking about.
That is funny.
Our loved ones don't change. Their love for us doesn't change. He kept saying to me, tell him Bob, tell him I'm watching over Bob. He's saying to me. And he says to me, goes, you need to lighten up on him. So your father's still taking his side on the other side.
Oh, figures.
Please know that this is your dad's way of acknowledging that he is watching over both you. That child is with him. And more importantly, he is safe and at peace.
That's awesome.
I'm going to leave you guys with that.